Hey folks, I'm about ready to take the toe dip into the PCP world with this Gamo Arrow here that I bought. It is my first PCP. In fact, the only one I have at this time. It's not quite out of the box review, but I got the box. Come on, Harley, get away. And I've only fired it once just to see if it worked. We're just going to put her to the test. I'm going to show some of the folks that view this don't have PCPs, so I'll show the pumping process and then we'll run it through the speed test to see what this thing will do. PCP stands for pre-charged pneumatic, and the charge is done with a pump or a motor and through a valve here. This is basically a small scuba type of tank here that is able to withstand lots of pressure. This particular one I think is 3,000 pounds per square inch or PSI. When you pump it all the way to where the gauge is on the border of green and red, then that means you're going to get about 40 to 50 shots up to speed. When it gets down to yellow where it is right now, then it's starting to lose speed. I'll show you how to pump this up. This pump is a Crossman pump. I'm going to have to get down on the floor. It's kind of awkward. It has to be done. You can't put the pump on the floor and sit and do this at the same time. So you slide it here. Oops, it didn't catch. This thing goes back like that. The valve is there. That's the male valve. This is the female valve. Takes a little getting used to. There. It clicked, so it's in. Then a knob back here, you got to close it. And so now everything is going from the pump directly into the little tank. Now I'm going to have to pause and get back up so where I can pump it. You can see that cord's still not really long enough that you can put the gun there, so I have to still lay the gun down on the floor and we start pumping. And this where you have to kind of stand up because it's going to be doing like squats here in a second. The first is pretty easy. Once you get her up there in the green, it's a different ball game. Alright, let's take a look at where we're at. Yeah, it's just now getting to the green. You can get a workout doing this. This is where it starts getting hard here. Once you get it into the green, whew, it's a workout. Alright, let's see where we're at. Whew. A little bit more. There, I think we're pretty much there. Or close enough I could shoot with it anyway. Okay, so you release the valve here so the pressure is not there, and then you can release it. Okay, I got it. I'm new at this. So now we have at the muzzle end, you have a gauge. So we see we've got, looks like about 2,000 pounds per square inch. I know it'll shoot as long as it's in the green, and it shoots about the same, so we will prevent some further sweat and maybe embarrassment and go with this. One of the nice features about this is it's got a 10-place magazine, so the bolt is kind of weird on this one. You have to pull it, push this down, and then pull back. It takes two hands. You got to go like this. Now the bolt is all the way back. Then you could take the magazine out. That's forward. Here's the pellets that I'm going to run through. I'm going to run through the Crossman hollow point, the Gamo rocket, which is their cheapest round right now, and the Gamo Redfire, which is supposed to be their penetrating round. The H&N Hornet, it's a good penetrating round and very accurate, but also an expensive round. This is all in 22. And then I'm going to try the Barracuda match. So let's get going on the firing. The hard part's over. All I got to do is put these things in the magazine and let them rip. Okay, I'm finishing up on the Gamo rocket. Got some wacky results with that. I just need one more. That's going to be some wicked standard deviation on that one. Okay, next up will be the Gamo Redfire. I'll go ahead and load it here. Great thing is I don't have to spend all day out here pumping. You still got to load it in here. I like these little Gamo magazines. Pretty nice. Got 10. So to load it, all you got to do is this little notch here, with this here, push it in. Then you just shove the bolt forward. There's 100 feet per second difference in that. Without doing the standard deviate, all the calculations, we're looking at some pretty wild speeds here. Let's take a look at the numbers for the Gamo Arrow. I ran through 7 different types of pellets, and I left a little bit room for maybe a future test on 1 or 2 different other types of pellets. The Gamo Arrow looks futuristic, doesn't it? Sort of like out of Starship Trooper, maybe. Anyways, here we go. The Gamo Rocket was the first round I fired, and it has a average speed of 717 and kinetic energy of 16.5 foot-pounds, but that standard deviation is 38. And this will be a common theme. The Gamo Redfire had an average speed of 666, kinetic energy of 15.1, and even a worse standard deviation of 48. Crossman hollow point is your go-to for an inexpensive pellet. Average speed is 765. Kinetic energy pretty good at 18.6 foot-pounds, but that standard deviation again is 49. You get one at 806 and another at in the lower 700s, so that's usually it's going to mean flyers. I switched over to a heavier pellet, the H&N Barracuda match at 21.14 grains. Average speed is 648. Look at that kinetic energy, 19.7, pretty close to 20 foot-pounds. In fact, it knocked over that 4x4, which is still knocked over. So that was kind of surprising when that happened. But again, the standard deviation is 40. The H&N Hornet, this is a very expensive pellet. It's a penetrator. It did the best with this. It weighs 16.20 grains, or fairly mid-range, I guess. Average speed is 702. Kinetic energy is still really good at 17.7, but look at, this is the one where the standard deviation was pretty good, 5.8. The H&N Excite Spike average speed was 695, kinetic energy of 16.8, and yet a standard deviation of 22. Still better than the ones up here. And lastly, my old go-to, the H&N Excite Hammer. Check this out. All these new ones here are Excite Hammer. That was with shooting into the sun through the chronograph. But that's not bad for shooting through a chronograph into the sun. Average speed of 690 feet per second. Kinetic energy of 15.3, but a standard deviation of 29. So actually the H&N Excite Spike did better. So there you have it for the Gamo Arrow's stats. I had no idea a lot of PCP stuff. In the first part of the video, you saw I struggled with, I think they call this the Franklin nozzle on. It's a lot easier just to do it on the bench with it laying down. You can see I've emptied it pretty close to the yellow. So we'll go ahead and pump her up to the max that I'm allowed there, and then we're going to go to town and shoot in a little bit here. One further thing, this Crossman pump, which only costs $100, I'll put in the good word for Crossman on this one. It works pretty good compared to the Gamo pump that I got the first time. I don't know if I'm going to do this now or not, because this ain't working. That's with Crossman hollow points, and I'm shooting with the iron with the open sights, which I can't even see that well at 25 yards. So it's not going to be super accurate, although I am using the bipod that I put on here myself, and that makes it a lot steadier. And then I'm going to use this target here because it'll be easier to see when I video it. So let's go shoot some targets. Okay, I'm at 25 yards, shooting this with Crossman hollow points. The good thing is, it won't take long because this thing's already pumped up. Take a look at what we got here. That was the first three. Wow, it's hitting way low now. Huh. Yep, all three are low, so we'll move the sight back up. And I'm just guessing here. I'm only getting one on target. All right, I'm going to put another 10 in there because we've got a grouping, and then we'll just see what kind of grouping I get. That's why I use such a large target. I thought. Got a decent grouping there. Well, I've taken a dip into the PCP waters in both feet and found them the water to be pretty good. So expect more videos with this, and after I probably sell some stuff off on eBay, maybe I'll get some more. I need another video on this one, at least with the scope. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please press the like button and subscribe. Appreciate it.